All right, so this is how I'm gonna have to do it. I don't know why it's not working. All right, here we go. Hi everyone, my name is Taylor Christensen, and this is a presentation on adaptive organizational leadership in a global pandemic such as COVID. We all went through it, we all saw it firsthand, and we saw that some companies were still successful through it and some were not. So one company that stayed successful throughout COVID was Walmart. Walmart's currently ranked number 1 in the Fortune 500 list. Walmart has over 2 million employees with a revenue of over 600 million, and their CEO is Douglas McMillon. So we're going to kind of look at what he did to stay successful throughout this pandemic. He used something called adaptive leadership. So this was developed in 2009 by Ron Heifetz and Marty Linsky. The leaders are open to feedback. These leaders are ready for inevitable change. These leaders have the ability to switch direction when needed. And then there's 4 main characteristics of adaptive leaders. The first one being emotional intelligence, meaning they're sensitive to the feelings of others and have empathy for their employees. This boosts morale and can actually fix broken culture or create a good culture in a company. There's organizational justice. So the leaders must be truthful even when the truth is hard to hear with their employees. Development, they love trying new things, which helps the organization be prepared for change. And then character, so these leaders earn respect from their employees by being transparent, by including diversity and inclusion in their business practice, which is something that's really important these days, and just make being a ethical leader a priority. So the pros and cons of adaptive leadership. Personally, I think there's a lot more pros than cons, but I tried to make it even on here. So some pros are change is already anticipated, multiple opinions are embraced within the company, and team strengths are applied. And then cons are there's no emphasis on structure, rules are broken, and sometimes I think decisions can be made too quickly. An important part of adaptive leadership is building resilience within your company. So that means understanding that there's going to be setbacks and accepting the fact is important. There are 4 main steps to building resilience. Step 1 is developing well-established routines. So having alternatives prior to a crisis coming and helping your employees be prepared for change. Practice doing more with less. So practice achieving your goals with fewer than normal resources, and think as a team on how you're going to respond if a crisis happens. Step 3 is identifying priorities. So as a leader, you need to identify what is crucial to keeping your business running through a crisis such as COVID, and make it known to your employees as well. And then be able to give up control. So make sure that your employees feel empowered and feel like you have trust in them to take over when needed. So how did Walmart adapt during COVID? They did a lot. They did put a huge emphasis on the safety of their employees, which helps their employees feel valued. So they required masks for not only the employees, but for the people coming in the store as well. They had vaccine incentives. They did require management and corporate employees to get vaccinated, but then for just the employees in the stores, they had incentives like cash and paid time off. They put up barriers between employees and customers, and they had their self-checkout, which was nice, so that they didn't have to have as many people in contact. They took precautions in the store, so they had metering lines between people waiting in lines. They limited store hours so that they could disinfect and limit exposure. They limited the number of people in the store, and there was constant disinfecting, as you can see in that picture. They wiped shopping carts and they wiped the self-checkout constantly. They also had where you can pick up your groceries in the parking lot, which is awesome, and they still do it today, which I use all the time. And then here are my resources.